Awesome, you guys. So this is kind of what I hope all of you guys can do. And what I mean, what I hope you can do is if your goal is fat loss, I talk a lot about metabolic priming. Metabolic priming is just setting your body up to lose fat more efficiently. All right. So if you are trying to lose fat and the progress is super slow, if you're not losing weight at all, if you're not seeing progress, if you're not like decreasing your inches, if you're not feeling better on your diet program, or if you have this like binge restrict cycle, or under eating during the week, over consuming on the weekends, or whatever it may be, a reverse diet is hands down the most effective way to get your calories into a really healthy spot. And what I mean by that is it's the first time maybe someone's ever told you to just stop restricting calories, stop going super low, because your body and your metabolism are constantly adapting. So the first thing that I kind of talked about was hitting the low hanging fruit. Like, take inventory of your life. If you're spending 10 hours a day on social media, obviously spending less time there would help. If you're only spending 5 hours in bed, spend more time trying to sleep. If you're, eating a lot of highly processed foods, cut out some processed foods, or, replace those with meals on your own. If you are not drinking a lot of water, like drink more water. If you're drinking a lot of caffeine and your sleep's quality, like, hit those low hanging fruit things first. And that's always the easiest thing to move when it comes to metabolic priming, because it's just shifting things to be able to lose weight more efficiently and give your body a chance to recover more efficiently. Okay. And then we're going to get into calories. All right. Calories are what drive fat loss. Like, eating in a caloric surplus is how you gain weight. Eating in a caloric deficit is how you lose weight. There's no science other than that. To be 100% clear, you can't just eat 4,000 calories if your maintenance is 2,000 and lose weight. It's not going to happen. And if it does, you got to go to the hospital and get checked out, because you are like a miracle. So, more power to you. Or maybe, you got your metabolism that fast, but it won't be like that forever, because your body's constantly adapting. And it's kind of hard, because people always ask me, like, how many calories should I eat? And I always say, well, it depends. And it's not the answer that I like to give or that people want to hear, but really it's unfair for me to give you a calorie prescription and act like that's going to get you to your end goal, because you always have to adapt. You always have to change things. You always have to give your body the stress, the appropriate stress to change on the how you want to change. Okay. So how to find your calories. This is kind of my best practices of how we do it. I have you track your calories, everything for 4 days, including weekends. In a perfect world, I'd have you track for 2 weeks. Every cookie, every, dressing, everything. Like, you're weighing everything out. You're putting in your MyFitnessPal. And then what you do is you go to your average view throughout the course of the week, and you can actually see your average calories week to week. This would be your maintenance. Or what you could do, if you're curious about that, is you just track your calories every day. You add them all up and then divide by 7. And then that would be your maintenance calories, because this is inherently where you've been living for a long period of time. And if you haven't gained weight or lost weight, it's a great place to start. So you found your maintenance calories now. And another way to look about, so that's where you're at. Now, where do you need to get to be in a healthy spot? I use a multiplier factor. It's easier in application, because I can, again, talk to you and have these conversations and see, what's a better idea. But for the sake of simplicity, take your body weight, multiply it by 10. And then that is your basement, your bottom line calories that you need to get to. Okay. That's your minimum that is going to get you at least in somewhat of a healthy spot. Okay. That's subjective too, because what we have problems of, well, if you weigh over 250, 300, 400 pounds, that number might be extremely high, and eating that much might lead you to, poor behaviors, or hitting calories to, it's easier to get more calories through processed foods, and then you lean on processed foods to hit your calorie goal. So we got to be in a healthy spot for you to feel as good as possible. And coming from whole nutrient dense foods, you're going to just feel way better. Okay. So another thing too, and all this is laid out on my previous post on the energy and weight loss secrets. I'll have that pinned to the top if you need to reference it. But how I like to do it is you start at the multiplier factor of 10, and you just add 1 for every one of these. If you work out daily for at least 30 minutes, if you have less than 30 seconds rest periods in between your sets when you're doing your workouts, so if you're doing a circuit base or a boot camp style or Orange Theory Fitness where your heart rate's high and you don't get a lot of rest periods, add 1. If you have your workouts working your ass off and you feel exhausted at least 2 times per week, add 1. If you have a very stressful job, add 1. If you have a very stressful relationships or multiple relationships, add 1. If you don't sleep more than 5 hours at night, add 1. And you eat mostly processed or prepackaged foods, add 1. Okay, so all these are just stressors on your body. So if you check to all of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's 17 is your multiplier factor. And then you just take your body weight, multiply it by 17, and then that's your calories, your estimated like maintenance calories, plus or minus a couple hundred probably, because your body works in more windows than specific numbers. Like it doesn't know the difference between close to that or, you know, whatnot. But that could be really scary to a lot of people. So you could either change some of those things so you don't have to have that multiplier in there, like, you know, do strength training workouts that have full rest periods. Go for more walks rather than super intense cardio bout sessions, like taking HIIT sessions off the calendar for a while. And it's not forever, but it's like, it's just for a while to find this balance point. Also, if you've been doing HIIT for a long time, your body's adapted to it. So it's probably not going to be as efficient as if you just took HIIT training out for like a month and then reintroduced it. You're going to get a better stimulus again, because your body adapted to those HIIT workouts. And if you're not, this is talking to people who haven't seen success recently. Okay, so if you're looking to lose more than that, your multiplier factor would be off. It'd be a little bit different. But again, for most of us, this is exactly kind of how you would find that. Okay. And then what you want to do is, now that you have your goal target range, which should be, you know, like, I also like looking at ranges. So if it's like your multiplier is like a 10, do 10 to 12. So if you multiply it by 10, that's your basement. If you multiply it by 12, that's your ceiling. And you live in between there, or 11 to 13, or 14 to 15, or, you know, like what I'm saying. So you have these ranges and windows to live in, because there's not just a specific number to hit. So you make your window and then you work your calories or reverse them up to that spot. This is what's known as a reverse diet. So a really healthy way to look at a reverse diet is see where you have been going, and then adding 50 to 100 calories every 2 weeks is a healthy way where you can gradually, you know, bring up your calories into a healthy spot, mitigate weight gain. If you're gaining more than like a half a pound to a pound per week, if you're a guy, or a quarter pound to a half a pound if you're a female, those are kind of standard, but that's also because you're eating more food. So you have more food in your digestive system. You actually might feel stronger, and you actually might be building some muscle during this process, which is super amazing. You also probably have a water goal. You're increasing your carbohydrates. You're just giving your body to maintain more water. Depending on, you know, stressful situations in your life, your water weight can fluctuate up and down. But if you take your weight every day and then divide it by 7, that's your average weight over the course of a week. That's what I'm talking about. So what you do is you increase your calories to get to a place where you're only gaining that much, but you should start feeling really good. So your biofeedback comes back way more positive. Your mood, your digestion, your energy levels, your libido, your sleep quality, so falling asleep efficiently, waking up feeling rested, are all going to start to get into a better spot. This is your biofeedback. That's literally your body telling you like, hey, I'm safe. I feel good. And if your libido's up, that's like, all right, cool. I'm in a place where I could procreate. If I can procreate, that's a hormone profile that's just generally healthier. Okay. So what you do from there is you can just increase 50 to 100 calories every 2 weeks. If you want to be more aggressive, just understand that, you know, that weight might fluctuate more. So you do 50 to 100 calories every week. I like to do that with my clients just because it is like, I want to be as efficient as possible. And I know this is where we need to get to, you know, part of if you have like PCOS or Hashimoto's or a thyroid issue, those are some things that would cause us to even go slower, or just, you know, smarter, like, or have different protocols, but we're not talking about that right now. So what you do then is you get your calories to this place where your biofeedback is amazing. Your calories are in a very healthy spot. They support your lifestyle. Your calories in your lifestyle are supporting each other. And then your body just has this kind of this relief where it's okay letting go of fat. Once you get there, you live there for a while. And then if your goal is fat loss, you just drop your calories. 20 to 25% is a pretty typical healthy cut for most people. Again, it depends. Some people have to go more extreme. Some people can go less extreme. It depends on how quickly you want to do it and then what your plan is afterwards. Okay. So also when you do go into deficit, there's a lot of different things to worry about, but our big thing is just metabolic priming. So getting ready to go into a deficit. So the deficit's usually 20 to 25% of your calories at that point. You cut it and then you lose weight efficiently, usually 1 to 2 pounds per week, pretty efficiently. there's a million other factors that kind of go involved, like your resistance training program, your activity levels throughout the day, your ability to stay hydrated, your ability to cope with stress. All those things are going to be, big factors when it comes to this weight loss journey. But this is really basically phase one of my program, and it's something everybody has to go through. If you don't go through this, I can't guarantee lifelong results. I can't guarantee that the scale is going to move. It's like all the people that go into a diet program and then they lose weight and then plateau. I don't like that. I don't want to fail before you get your goal. It's also why I have longer programs, like 6 months, year programs, because I know that we can't accomplish all this in a day. It's very hard to accomplish, phase one in 2 to 3 months if that's coming from a healthy spot. So I always like to, preface this is where you're at, this is where you're going, this is how we're going to get there. This is where you're, if you keep eating this way or keep acting this way, this is the route that you're on, and kind of educating people so they know exactly where they're at in this route and on this journey and how to get to that next step. So without further ado, that is phase one of the program. It's metabolic priming. It's hitting that low hanging fruit. It's getting the calories into a healthy spot. It's also, finding what macro profile is best for you during that time. So you just making hitting calories and hitting goals more easy, more efficient. That's what the name of the game is like, how can I make this fat loss goal suck as little as possible? Because slashing calories sucks. Going on food plans that just you inherently don't want to live on forever, it sucks. It's mentally taxing. You don't see the success that you'd hope to all the time. And when that all happens, it's just a very hard journey to venture through. But, that's what we do very efficiently, and, talk people through those situations to give them the potential to have the most success on their fat loss journey. So I'm going to stop this. And then if you guys